Okay, this is our Forza crowd. Our film's called Forza crowd, and this is our PowerPoint for a quick kind of critical evaluation for it. Okay.
Firstly, basically our character Oscar Jeffrey is like the perfect example for this, because he's in like Hollywood films. You get these conventional characters who act like they're really good with women, but they're really not. With this character, because it's a mockumentary, we get to see him enact this sense of, we see him fail with women, and that's what's comical about our film, that we can see him going up to the women and just being a fool, and that's what makes it a bit comical, because it's also real, so his reactions to it are, he's really confused with why it's happening to him, because he thinks he's really good with them, but he's not.
Yep.
No. This is another example, because he's a conventional geeky character who thinks he's really special because he knows when we've got different character types, like Glenn on the other side, he's just not interested in the girl on the other side. She doesn't really care about him. But he's really sort of positive, and he's trying to just explore his ideas and tell the other characters about his little graphic club, but they're all just not interested. And because it's in a lift, it emphasises this sense of enclosure, and they can't get away from him.
So this is like a perfect screenshot, because you have like the middle character being really, really excited and excitable about something really kind of stupid and childish. And then you've got Glenn with his lips just being like, I don't know if you noticed, but in the actual trailer there's a subtle thing where he just kind of goes, kind of like as if completely ignoring it, completely not really caring. And then you've got Eva, who's just trying to like get out of the lift, like scared. Yeah, really, really uncomfortable. And it's all just kind of centered around this one middle character being a complete idiot, basically.
So if you look at Eva, she's trying to press a button to get out of the lift, and she's trying to
rush it along, is the whole point. So you've got these kind of like subtle things that make it even more awkward in the film. And I think most have noticed, like just at the end of that scene, you see me and Eva catching each other's eye, where she just looks at me in like kind of disgusted manner, and like, hey, ready?
This is the combination of the main product and the silly text. Basically, throughout the poster, our webpage, and our film, we wanted to keep the same colour theme, font, and structure. So as you can tell, that the main title is exactly the same as the poster in the film, and we wanted to keep that because in any sort of films or like TV series, they always have the same consistent structure, and if you don't have that, then it doesn't really work. And it looks really unprofessional, so we wanted to make sure that we keep the same template going consistently throughout our text.
We also wanted to see, like, so when people see this poster, they see this sort of Forza crowd logo, and they also see that if two is a company, three is a master, and what's for, we want them to remember that slogan. Yeah. In the trailer, when this comes up at the end, so they've just seen the trailer, they've liked it, they don't know what it's called yet, and then Forza crowd flashes up, and they're going to see it on the street as well, they're going to remember it and go, oh, I remember that, and they're going to remember the characters as well. And kind of, you want to kind of invoke that in their mind, so they want to go and see it more.
Also, the fact that because it's the same font, once you see it on the street, and then you see it on the other, you'll know instantly that they're linked together, and it combines well together.
Yeah, we were really careful to try and keep them. The only, like for instance, with the poster is a little bit lighter around the background of it, and the Forza crowd is a little bit darker. That was just kind of difficulties within editing, and also it was just kind of trying to keep the font made the same and still keep the flatness around it, so people still get when they see it, they still remember it.
So the background views, as you can see, is white, and that's consistent on our website.
Yeah, we've consisted that in like across everything, even in to some degree in this PowerPoint.
Basically, we felt that white with ours works really well because comedy. When we looked at a lot of comedy text and silly text, the films and stuff, they always used really simple, basic light colours as their background, so we thought white was, as simple as you can.
Yeah, Knocked Up's a really good example where they have like, if you see their posters and trailers, it's just like a few simple screenshots. We noticed when we look at all the posters and the trailers that all the screenshots and trailers, they're kind of simple. They're kind of just simple character put in it, maybe just a few like little slogans in it, and then just the name. It's really simple. but like Knocked Up comes with a similar comedy. Same with The Hangover. They had a white background with sort of red writing coming over it, and then just like something to do with the characters, like some sort of slogan. And we kind of kept the convention as well.
Yeah, because like the comedy conventions for anthology texts are very simple. They like to keep them so simple that you can just get the comedy straight away. Because if it was too complicated, you wouldn't understand the comedy what's trying to be.
They like so like now it's kind of like cheap gags, like with Will, the third guy who's sitting down with his top off. He's talking about a pigeon. It's just like a complete joke. It's not
just all based on like random things.
Yeah, and it's random, which is good. Is that?
In regards to audience feedback, the most important slide we got in digital type is probably with the poster. We basically found like a lot of the presentation is very important with the poster because like you immediately get the audience insight into characters. Like for example with Oscar Jeffries, he's pointing straight at the audience and he's posing to like represent his plain personality. We also learned a lot about what we had to change in attention to detail, especially with the characters, because with the first poster, if you want to get to that,
Yeah.
you can see like it's quite roughly cut out. And
So yeah, if you look around here where it's sort of 15, if you actually look at 15 logos, it's actually a little bit flat.
yeah,
And if you look around here, this is cut out. This is what some feedback we got. And also again here, Chris's arm, Iggy's and Chris's arm is kind of going. It just looks a bit unprofessional.
as well as the arm over Will.
Yeah. And also, for instance, Chris Langford is there, Glenn is there, Iggy is there, and Will is there. We when we put the new one, we changed everything around it. So we put the top of the so Will Mason, Iggy Jeffrey, Chris Langford, Glenn Wayne all on the top. We had that aligning down with the characters, and then we also we've cut it out a lot more smoothly. We've also done realigned things and made them slightly smaller so we can fit in the summer 2010. That's another convention we didn't have in at the time.
We literally, for the cutting out, we went into pixels basically to make sure that we could make it as concise as possible because I think for places like this you need them to look, you need everything to look very strong and powerful or the comedy doesn't work.
And it's still to do with the colour scheme a lot as well. We sort of used red, black and white because red and black stand really well against the white background. We sort of used it as a running motif with the website as well.
And I mean, even if these like simple changes, like literally they can take going to pixels makes it look so much better, it's more professional.
A lot more professional.
Anything else from say there? Yep. Okay, here's the media technologies we use to like finalise the piece, construct it and evaluate it. And I mean, we used like a variety of the technologies at first, and then, but we mainly used like computers. But that was for like such a large. I think so. We used Internet Explorer as a program software. For like blogging, then you got all the cutting out, all the editing. You got the Photoshop, Fireworks, PowerPoint, iMovie, iWeb, and Word. And I mean, literally completely computer-based, and then we also had to do all our evaluation. We did loads and loads of planning, making diagrams we put up on the blog on computers using Word and PowerPoint. Also all the evaluation of our characters, all on the blog, all using, it's all kind of based around actually like PC use. So plan and evaluate, make like kind of note everything down, put on the blog. And sort of tangible technology, we had like video cameras for doing filming, Apple Mac computers for doing all the editing and all that, and Windows computers as well. And then we had, which is talking about projectors for the audience feedback as well.
I think the technology we use, at times we may be putting in more advanced stuff.
Yeah, so we were thinking with the editing, for instance, we tried using Sony Vegas.
But
Really well.
Yeah, we had problems importing the project from the format that came in from a Mac to just MV4. Sony Vegas doesn't accept that or something.
If we were on Mac and we tried to convert it into Windows, it wouldn't allow us to do it.
Because you want to do sort of more professional style credits as well. So when it says coming soon, it's becoming a black and a white thing coming in, which is it's okay, it's not bad.
But we
And
felt
it's-
like
yeah.
maybe we could have furthered it and developed it a little bit more.
Nothing more excitable for everyone. Pretty much it. Yeah, and here's an example of us using computers. So this is the group using Fireworks in the post design stage. And
The lines,
Yeah.
you can see, that's just basically what the lines are. at the time we're trying to align the characters, and the lines help us align the characters, because I think we got an audience feedback saying that the characters weren't aligned properly, so we sort of went into so much detail to make sure that they were fading properly, and we made sure that we kept them aligned as much as we possibly could.
Kind of like the subtle things that just make it slightly a little bit better.
The little details, but add up and make things look.
And yeah, his end of our PowerPoint.
Poster.
And here's a bit, we put a bit of parody in for postmodernism. Taking away these two, putting maybe. Yes. Yeah.